Hi there, and welcome back to Crafty Thursday with Vanessa. And I'd like to welcome you along again to my Facebook Live. And please let me know if you're joining live. I'd love to have a little chat with you as we go along. And it's always great to have that little bit of interaction going on. So I'm just going to flip the camera around. There we go. And just make sure I can remove that. Right. Still have lighting challenges, but it's going to be a bit of a battle, I think, with this glass mat. But I do like the glass mat, and it's a great surface to work on. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. It actually looks better when I view the videos back again later than it does in my screen when I'm live. So hopefully it's good for you. Okay, so today I'm doing something similar to last week. So this was last week's card where we've got our butterfly that flips up and it has a little message. And I wanted to do something. I actually saw all of these. I did a different project with the Toadstool Gardens DSP. That's one of the gifts from Celebration this year. It's this beautiful paper with the bright colours. And this was just sitting like that on my desk. And I went, oh, I've seen something where someone did all those scraps and then cut out the butterfly. So I found it, and it was done last month by Kim McGillis. She's one of the Stampin' Up! Artisans. I think she's from Canada. And so I thought, right, I'm going to do that, but do it a little bit differently to what she did. So a little bit like we did last week with a difference, yeah. Okay, so my strips of card are not, so Kim cut all hers were the same size, but mine really are just offcuts, and we often get pretty strips like this, and it seems a shame to not to keep them, but then sometimes you sort of think, oh, what am I going to do with them? So I have made this kind of thing before, something like a strippy technique or something like that. And I was thinking, and I haven't organised it, about putting the glue. So Kim just put the glue on each piece, but then there were some that weren't properly adhered when she'd finished. So I had a thought of putting it on. Now I've got to find everything I need. Putting the glue actually on this piece, but you kind of need to spread it out. Oh, I know, I could use the back of, oh gosh, I don't even have a Tombow on my desk, would you believe? That's because I put them in the box to take to a class. Luckily the box is here, so just got to find one that's got lots in it. And I'm just double checking my sound. Oh yes, I do have sound there. Excellent. Right, so I'm going to use the larger applicator end on the glue. So these, you've got your thin tip at one end and you've got this larger applicator. And I'm just going to put it on a silicone mat in case I go over the edges. And so what I'm going to do is squeeze some out and then just spread it. And I might just do it, sort of in the angle of which I'm going to do the paper, because it will dry as I go. So I think I'll just add it as I go, if you get what I mean. I'm just smearing that on there. I just thought this might be a bit more accurate. Okay, and then you just start with your pieces. So sort of an angle. Actually, I could, seems a shame to waste a large piece just for the corner, so I'll cut that off. And so then you just choose an angle and you're laying your strips of paper, and you want to alternate them. I think I put a pink one, looked quite nice next to that one. And you can, just as you go, snip them and use, I can use that piece somewhere else, but I do have lots of strips here, so I don't need to worry about that too much. And then I might go in with this one. So you just, and I've got different widths, and patterns going here together, and it just all seems to work, which is fantastic because the paper is designed to coordinate. So it's a magical thing when you can use up pieces like this and they just all work together. Okay, so I'm getting to the end of my glue, so I might just put one more, and then I'll add some more glue. I think this is probably a cleaner way to do it too. Like, I'm not getting glue all over my hands, which if I was handling all these little strips, you know, you might end up getting quite gluey. And I've also got it on the silicone mat, so the glue that's on that mat is just going to roll off when I've finished. It's very easy to clean up. Okay, so I'm just making sure I've got a nice separation before going back in with the same pattern. And I do have some thicker pieces in here, but I think I'll avoid those and try and keep them all about the same thickness. Actually, I might use that. It's going to go across there just. Bit of a green piece, and then more glue. So this piece of card here I've cut to sort of the size of the butterfly, so I'm not putting more paper down than what I need for die cutting my butterfly out. And I'm just butting the edges of each one up. It's quite a thin one, it's a little bit harder to manoeuvre. I need to move up a bit, don't I? There we go. And what else have we got here? Oh, we do have this bright pink on the background of that one, which would be quite fun. Yeah, so there's really no right or wrong way to do this one. It's really a one of those sort of thrilling, see how it turns out when you get there kind of ones. Okay, now, oh, I haven't used a lot of that snail paper, so I might do one of those, and it's a slightly thicker piece, because the thicker the pieces are, the quicker it would go together. And then a piece of pink. Oh, that's actually upside down. Only because I noticed it. It would drive me crazy otherwise. If I don't notice it, it's all fine. And then some more green. And then last bit of glue here. So this paper is available with an order in New Zealand of $125. So you would get to choose this as your free gift if you wanted this. It's a fun, bright, playful paper. Okay, and what's on the back of that one? Green. And what colour shall I end with? Has anybody got an opinion? Oh, we've got this lovely pink one again. It's a nice thick one too, so that will take up a good amount of space on there. And then one more. And that's green. Perhaps, oh, the stripe. I haven't used this. Oh, I've used it twice. So let's see if there's a little stripe just to finish us off. I don't think I need to go right to that point on the corner. I don't think the die is going to come down that far. Okay. So once you've fairly covered, so you see I've got just the very tips of the corners are not covered, which is fine. And I see I've got a smear of glue actually up there, so I'm just going to take that off the page, try and smooth that out. Actually, I'll get a tissue. Ah, that's okay. Bit of tissue stuck to it, but I've got it off the paper, I think. Okay. So now we just want to carefully pick it up because it has stuck a little bit to my mat, but not too bad. And this is silicone, so it won't be stuck permanent. Okay, so now I might start at the end where I started, which was over here. I'm just going to use the back of it as my guide and trim off the excess that's overhanging. It does kind of stick to your scissors. Okay, and then we'll come down this way. Oops. And Celebration, where you can get this paper, is on until the end of the month. So another 8 days. Today's the 20th, yeah. Finishes on the 28th. Oops, I'll keep that bit. So all those bits I can do another card with. So this one I'm actually going to be cutting out the butterfly, but you can use the same technique just to create a layer, and I'll show you in a second. There we go. So you can use that as it is, as a layer for a card. So that's another way you can use these scraps up, and that can be any size. You know, it's just a matter of layering that onto a card and putting a sentiment, and hey presto. But for today, we're going to cut it out using our same die that we used last week, and I'm actually not going to put the score line in. I am going to use that same way that we did it, but what I've done is I've just made my paper slightly longer this way than the die, and the die will actually put in that score line for me. If you watched last week, I actually put it in and then tried to line the die up on the score line, but I think it's easier if I just let it do the scoring as I put it through the cut and emboss machine. So I'll just go ahead and put that through. Oh, get the right plate, Vanessa. So it's just your normal die cutting setup. Now it has stuck to my plate a little bit, but that's okay. Right. So when you take it off the die, this piece here will just fall out. And I've just got some little, that might have been on my plate, it's just collected there. Okay. And then we just have to do that chopping that we did last week to remove it from that outer edge. Just cutting across to where the die finishes. Okay, and here we have our pretty butterfly out of scraps. Okay, and you'll see I can now just fold that over. It is a little bit thick because I've got cardstock and then I've got the paper layers. So I'm going to just score it. A little bit sticky there. Right, so that's going to sit over our layer just like we did last time, like so. But this time I thought I would follow a little bit what Kim did. So Kim put, so you remember last week we did the, where's it gone here? We did, and this would still look lovely, we did the embossing folder underneath, and so we have that layer under our butterfly, but I thought I would do something different, and this looked quite pretty. So I've just got some Fresh Freesia ink. I'll just get rid of the first bit there, and then I'm just going to create a lovely soft sponged area. Sort of like a big oval in the middle. And I also have a Stampin' Write marker, also in Fresh Freesia. And with the brush end, if you just flick it against the lid, you can get some splatter happening like that. And I'm going to stamp the words "Time to Celebrate" in the centre there with Melon Mambo. And my butterfly is going to sit over this, so I want it a little bit higher than centre, just going a smidge up. I love how those colours work together, don't you? So then our butterfly come in and sit over that, and again you've got that little sort of secret message like our card from last week. And then I wondered about putting, so Kim put a beautiful ribbon on here and kept her card quite simple. I just wondered about putting a die cut, or the detailed die cut over the top, and then adding happy birthday. I quite like the different layers and textures that gives. So that's my plan. So I'm going to stick the butterfly now onto my layer, and I'm going to use the liquid glue again. Oops, it feels like it's very sticky. Try this one. I normally make sure I've got my liquid glue set up and going before I come on live. Anyway, there's always something that you forget, I find. Okay, so that's now going to stick. So it's in the centre, left to right. Now I've just got a little bit, I don't know if you can see, just of that side piece sticking up, so I'm just going to cut it off. Oh, I can still see it. Obviously didn't quite have it folded in the right place. Okay, so then let's put our little, now I'm not going to cut it like I did last week. I'm going to leave this one whole. So I probably just want a little bit of glue, I think. I'll put a bit on the body, and I'm going to put the words over the top, but I'm going to put those on dimensionals. So I'm thinking I might put little pieces of dimensional just on these edges to raise those wings up a little bit. So I'm just going to go in and cut some skinny pieces. And then just put them along this edge. Just want to give it a little bit of movement, if you like. Now they're quite skinny down here, but I could possibly cut that skinny bit in half. Could just get a piece in there. And on there. I've got one piece left. I might cut that in half too. Go there and there. Okay. I'd advise doing that before you put the glue in the middle, like I didn't do. Okay. Just in case you end up putting your finger in it. Right, so now my butterfly is going to be attached to the paper in the centre, and at the sides it's going to curve up a little bit. So I want it about there. Yeah, that works really well. You just see you've just got that little bit of height on the edges here. Right, and I went ahead and did my sentiment, and that's going to go across there. And I want that on dimensionals, but I'm only going to put them at the ends. Although I might, because I've done that flat, I probably could put one there actually in the centre. So I will do that. Centre of there. And this is the happy birthday from the Beautiful Butterflies stamp set. It comes with a few words. You've got happy birthday, so thankful for you, the time to celebrate, and hello, and I'm here if you need me, which is a really nice sentiment as well. And these little stamps here are to create the detail when you die cut the butterfly as a shape. So I might try and do something with that next week. Show you how those work. Okay, so I'm taking off the backings, and then this is just going to sit across the middle. Just want to try and get it even, left to right, out there I think. Yeah, oh, I'm quite pleased with that. So you've still got your words underneath, and the butterfly is sort of hanging, you know, hanging loose on the front, but a different scenario to last week. Okay, so this whole layer now is going to go on. Now, am I going to put it on dimensionals, or should I put it flat? Just wondering, because I've got that underneath, I might just stick it flat, just in case it decided to come loose or something, which we don't want that to happen. So for extra security. Great. Now for the embellishments, I've got a couple of different options I thought we could look at. So I've got these adhesive back sequins trio, and I wondered about using those pink ones. So we've got that as an option. Or I've got these metallic, adhesive back metallic gems. So I wondered even maybe about silver. Oh, got hair on them. Come off. Yeah, so what do you think? Anybody want to offer a suggestion, what they like? Silver or the pink? I have got pink going inside the card, so I have got more pink to use. So perhaps we'll come back to that. I'll give you a chance to answer. We'll do the inside. So on the inside, I have cut from another piece of the designer series paper. I've cut the butterfly. So you get 2 of these dies with the set. So I've just used one of those, and you get the body as well. So I've cut the body from the melon mambo. And then, because often when I've got lots of things on the front, and that's sort of what I would call a sort of a heavy, maybe a front heavy sort of embellishment, I try and put an extra layer in the back, in the inner, so it just gives it a bit more weight. I don't want the card sort of tipping forward, if you know what I mean. So I've got my white here and a layer of melon mambo. And I thought just behind my butterfly, I'll just do a bit more of that ink blending. I'm going to put it down in this corner, so I'll just put a bit of that fresh freesia there. And a bit of splatter. And I usually put the things I put on the inside flat so that they're not impeding the card from closing. So don't want to bump up your postage. Okay. Just putting little dots there. Oh, I quite like how that one antenna is sticking up. Probably won't after I close the card, but never mind. So I'm going to attach this now to the melon mambo. And then put that inside the card. Oh, I've got one comment, I think, of pink. I might have to see if I can go back and see if there were any more. I think I can do that. I don't know if I can while I'm actually live. Okay. Well, I'll go with the one comment I can see, which was for pink. Okay, so that's our inside with our cute little butterfly. And got our pink embellishments here. So I'll tuck those ones away for another day. So revolutionary when I got given the tip to cut the side of the packet. So instead of opening with the sticky at the back, you cut one side off and then you can just slide them out and back in. Otherwise, I don't know if you've ever tried to get your embellishments in and out of the packet using this other opening. It's quite difficult, but this way is much, much easier. Okay, and I've had a request to look at the take your pick tool at the putty. So this end here, quite often I use the spatula end, and this is a funky little tool. You can turn that around and you've got a sharp pointed end as well. Just depends what you're using it for, what you're doing. But there's also this putty end, and you can pick up your embellishments just using the putty. So it's just a sticky substance. So you just put it onto the embellishment and then sort of with a bit of pressure. It's like doing a tick. You just sort of flick it and it comes off. Oops. Okay. I knew that would happen. It doesn't work. It's a very hot day. Maybe that's why. Sticky. Actually, maybe these are a little... I think maybe the sequin is a little bit big for this to work. Perhaps I try it on a smaller one. Oh, yeah, that's better. Yeah, I think maybe that one was just a bit big. So now I'm just going to put a couple of these. What have I got? A small one. So I'll put one, and then you can, once it's on your paper, it just lets go. I'll just get this one off my finger onto the putty. No, it's just not going to stick. Yeah, I think maybe this embellishment is just the wrong size. Okay, so I'm going to put this by the words. Actually, I might put it on the butterfly. That's quite nice. And then because it worked, I'll use another small one and put this be there next to that one. Are they a bit lost there, do you think? Or are they going to catch the light, aren't they? Be nice. I could also put... Oh, I normally tend to only do 3, but you can do 5. Just got to try and keep your triangle shape. So if I put one there, the triangle to there and an angle to here, and then another one. I'm just using the small ones now because I know they work. So this last one you could put... You could put. Kind of needs to go. Actually, it would kind of work up there, I think, or maybe a little bit lower. Oh, now I've lost my sticky. Oh dear. Okay, that's where it's staying then. Stuck very well to the card there. Finding it very humid today. So that's the general idea of using this, but like I say, you might find it's you have better luck with a slightly smaller object. And also that one is kind of a cup shape. I think the ones that are more raised are a little bit easier as well. This one is probably a bit more grippy because of the shape of it, where the glue is attached to the plastic. Right, so that is today's card. Thank you to the ones who joined me and for your participation and giving me which embellishment colour to use. I really appreciate that. And I'll be back live again next week. I'll see you then.